And there he is!
I had to do it. Now we'll probably get dinged, but shout out to Bobby for finding that clip. I was like, how could I not? Oh my goodness. Welcome to a toy kind of mood at night, kind of a summer night. We're a little more casual today. No suits, none of that stuff. Episode 8. I know, right? A toy kind of mood at night. It's like a toy kind of mood at Saturday night main event, Shotgun Saturday night, AEW Collision. It's a Saturday. It's wrestling. It's Travis Moody. It's Dreadnok Ryan. How we doing, brother?
Hey, brother, I want to let you know, brother, the starship is going to come down. The cream is going to rise to the top. And when I drop that elbow from the top rope, 1, 2, 3. It's
My
good.
goodness.
I'm having a fun night.
That was like a combination of both mega powers. Was that
Exactly.
Hogan and Savage at the same time? Thanks for joining us. I know it's crazy. It's like almost every week I'm talking about wrestling, but it's hot right now. There's a lot going on. I'm just feeling the fever of WrestleMania, and it hasn't stopped, but hopefully it is May, which means next month we got Yo Joe June. So our G.I. Joe show that turned into a wrestling show will once again turn into a G.I. Joe show again. So have no fear. It'll be Yo Joe action. We'll be covering Joe Fest and Cobra Convergence and Joe and talking HasLab and all that stuff. Of course, with Ryan, KJ, Tony, Bobby, everybody. It'll be lots of fun. But in the meantime, there's a lot going on in wrestling, right? So we got lots of figures to show off. We got AEW's got a lot of news right now. But first of all, before we get into that, I want to just do a little bit of homework, if you will, because I was honored to be on this episode, this show. Shout out to Justin Kendall from Wrestling Figure News. He had me on his podcast today. We recorded it. I think it'll go up tomorrow or Tuesday. We did the best wrestling figures of 2023 so far, and I'm glad we did because it was like an hour and a half of figures. So imagine if we waited till December 30th. Like we cut out. There was just so much goodness between WWE Elite, Ultimate, the PLE, Legends, Waves, and AEW. We had a lot of fun. It was just an honor to be on it. He's the ultimate source for wrestling figure news. I know you're familiar with that website too, right, Ryan?
Yeah, I absolutely adore this website because not only does he show all of the upcoming stuff, but he also gives you the links on where you can order some of the stuff. And if you do like WWE figures or even some of the AEW figures that are like fan channel stuff, Amazon, it's hard to find those. And he'll put those links in there so that you can get in there, get them ordered, so you can make sure that you can pick up those figs. I mean, for folks that don't know, yes, I absolutely adore G.I. Joe Classified. It's my jam, but my boy and me love our wrestling figures. And, I just picked up a whole bunch of wrestling figures, but he took them away from me. My toys were taken, and I'm upset, but it is what it is.
Well, at some point tonight, hopefully you can steal back a few. But yeah, Shout out again to Justin having me on Wrestling Figure News. It'll be on iTunes and Spotify. I was so happy to do a podcast because I hadn't yet got this nice haircut, beard trim before I looked like one of the bushwhackers that woke up from a drunken splither at 4 a.m. or something like that. So I was really pleased to just talk and not have to do slides and all that stuff like I had to for this one. But so that's out of the way. Check it out. We'll send posts on our social media, of course, once it goes live. All right. So we'll check in with some people in a minute, but before that, right, this was big news. There is no like Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, like without this guy, right? So superstar Billy Graham passed away. It was expected. He was 79 years old, correct? And Ryan, you want to talk about the superstar? The original
superstar. I'm old, so I remember Superstar Billy Graham being it was WWF back in the day. But he was that first rock and wrestling type of figure In wrestling, I mean, Jesse the Body Ventura, Hulk Hogan, a lot of these over the top personalities that you saw, Scott Steiner, all of them can go back to superstar Billy Graham. He took stuff from before and made it his, but he's a legend. He's an absolute legend in the wrestling community. And rest in power, superstar.
Rest in power. And this was a cool custom that your best friend did, the Elite Legend. He did that, but he was asking me for that ring entrance forever. I'm glad he got one, but that's a really cool looking custom. Wanted to shout that out. And yeah, that's Wrestle Figure Figure Kingdom I believe did that. Beautiful. Just he's probably the best wrestling figure photographer there is, right? Figure Kingdom, and that's just an amazing ode to the superstar right there. All right, let's say hi to some folks really quickly before you move on to lots of cool things. Look who's here first. I was like, oh yeah, our fan base is Lawrence, Ken, and sometimes Hazel, and he was number one. What's up, dude? He's here for all the epic wrestling action. I mean, how could Sergeant Slaughterhouse not be on a toy kind of wrestling show? I wasn't invited, dude. We gotta the next time there's a Sergeant Slaughter figure, which is from Hasbro, probably, right? Does he have a dual? That's a good topic. Does Sergeant Slaughter, can he still come out with more Mattel figures and
Yes.
Hasbro? That's unbelievable.
Yes.
And Action Force, he could do all three, or at least the
Action Force contract is complete.
Is done.
But he has Legends deal with Mattel, and then he has, I believe, one or two more figures with Hasbro still. Per Sarge.
That's crazy. Is this an HBK fan safe space?
Yes.
Yes, and that's reference to Toy Connections. Ken's got the love for Bret Hart. Of course, when I talked about showed off the Ultimate Bret Hart, which is right by actually behind his Best of Ultimate Bret Hart, but HBK, I'm more of an HBK person, but barely. Like it's like 52% to 48. I mean, how could you go wrong? Danjamin, what's going on? How are you? No holds barred in here, brother. That's right. NBH. Do you have that? Do you have that no holds barred set from Comic-Con?
No. I watched that movie and I actually walked out of the theater. That's how bad it was.
Oh, we love HBK here, so very cool. And we need Piper as an IG classified. Yeah.
Yes.
Very cool. Romo's in the house. He's not a wrestling guy at all, but he is a toy kind of mood. So he is here.
How much do you want to bet he's gonna have a custom coming out soon? We'll talk about that later, though.
Ooh, okay, cool. Very cool. He will. Yes, we will talk about that later. Need my his tank. All right, showing some. We all do, and I think we'll be getting it pretty soon. What would you say? What would you say we'll be getting the his tank now with all this like news and stuff?
I'm thinking September is when we'll get that his tank.
Okay. All right, cool. Allows us our wallets to calm down from Comic-Con. So that's pretty good.
Well, in June, if they announce the next HasLab too, so
not surprised, and I'm sure he's here because we're talking. We usually do WWE today. Look, we're doing a lot of AEW, which is funny because I got Ryan on. He hates AEW, so no, I don't hate AEW. I know you're right. No, you're fair. You're fair. I think kind of fair, not really, but we'll get into that.
For fuck's sakes, you've already got me saying
on my show, but on your show. All right. Anyway, what else we got? Toy Bounty Hunter. Good evening. Good evening. All right, cool. All right, let's get into some news, wrestling news, and then tonight's show is going to be a mix of everything. So we'll talk about wrestling figures, wrestling events. We're going to unbox some figures while we talk about wrestling events. Really cool, chill. If you like wrestling in general, even if you don't collect wrestling figures, hang out with us. Even if you don't watch wrestling, but you collect wrestling figures, hang out with us. It's going to be you. But so this is Ruthless Aggression right now, Series 4 from Walmart. Good luck finding it. It is hitting some collectors in the black market there. So we got you want to take us through these three real quick with these new images?
Yeah, so you've got Stone Cold, of course, in the camo pants, and it's Stone Cold. You can make 7,000 of those figures and they sell. JBL in the red, white, and blue garb. This is the heel JBL. When JBL's natural personality came out and he actually became popular. And then there's, of course, Eric Bischoff. And this is when Eric came to the WWE, when the event that you never thought would happen, seeing Eric and Vince hug. And, it was just this grand event, before Vince fired him like 7 or 8 times, it seems like. But during this time frame, these are all great representations of these characters at some of the heights of wrestling in that time frame.
Yeah. All right. Good take there. And then we got, I think the only one of all 5, I think right now is Eric. And I know we are getting an Eric with the ultimate Eric with the Nitro ring. Of course, the stage didn't get back, talk that to death. But Eric, I'll get. I mean, you could have 2 Erics because you could do the WWE Eric, you can do the NWO Eric. So, but I don't know about the others. I mean, you can always grab a Stone Cold, but that's kind of a clearance weight for me. I'm good on JBL. But how about these 2?
So Undertaker looks good, but Mattel put out the Undertaker with the tag team title. I think it was late last year, where his singlet, you can pull it down. I think it's a better figure than this, but if you want American Badass Undertaker, it's great. Tori Wilson, I don't care about. I'm sorry.
No, it is a good
I don't
face
care about
sculpt. It's a really great figure, but yeah, I don't. A diva is not a fan. You know what I mean? I like women's wrestling, like actual wrestling. I've never been. Shout out to Trish and Lita because they've had great matches in the past, but a lot of the divas, yeah, just because the swimsuit models, I don't know. I don't know.
No,
I don't know. I'm
completely
good.
agree with you.
So they look good, but I'll just buy a Barbie doll, like a Margot Robbie Barbie doll instead of that. So, all right, what are we thinking about who is this? The not top picks. This is the greatest hits volume 2. So these are hitting Ringside. Shout out to Ringside Collectibles, wrestlingfigures.com. And because you get everything first there. You know what I mean? So shout out to them.
Well,
But
and you get them there. You can order them, and they're great with customer service.
Yep.
JP and crew, you get them up on order and you get them. So Harley Race, I think is it's nice that we're getting that figure again. The first time that he came through was a number of years ago. HBK, with the newer head sculpt and the newer face printing, it's a beautiful HBK. Undertaker with the tag team title belts from, being in oh gosh, what was it? The Ministry of Darkness, I think is great.
Yes, that's what it was.
Seth freaking Rollins with the Money in the Bank. It's a nice callback to him, but I think as great as that figure is, the Ultimate is going to be even better. And then DDP, when he first came out in the Elite Series, it was so hard to get. So I think this is a nice, comeback to get to this particular figure. Dave Bautista in the blue gear, I honestly that's
Bautista.
Yeah, and I'm booing that figure because, I mean, it just looks so. So I think if you're looking at this wave, there's 5 that are great pickups, and then 1 you're just going, yeah, no, I don't want that one again.
Actually, so the one that I wouldn't pick from that actually is the DDP, but since we're not getting the Nitro stage and I don't have a DDP, I might have to just get that one, even though it's a WWE DDP. He didn't really do much when he came over to, sadly, like most WCW talent, he didn't get to do a whole lot in WWE, but Seth is a winner, even though that briefcase is like the size of him. It's a little weird there. That Undertaker is a win. It's the original of that Undertaker is actually great, so it's not that much of an improvement, but it gives you a chance to not have to pay 50 $100 whatever. The Shawn Michaels is probably the winner of that face sculpt, but no, I mean, the winner actually is probably Harley Race, but the only problem is it's not a soft goods robe, which they could have done. These are just kind of slightly updated re-releases. They could have done more with them, but it's a good wave. Yeah.
And Harley, the original was that rubber cape. And,
right.
If you're going to have him on your shelf, that doesn't bug me too much. I would rather see them use some of the soft goods for, like Seth with the Ultimate. And if you save your tooling and different stuff on that, and to give us that kind of stuff, then I'm all for that.
Oh, this was a comment I missed that was funny. No holds barred and how WWE brought the storyline to the ring was the weirdest timeline. I was
Jason,
into it, but I was like 6 or something, so I was fine with
the
it.
only thing that was worse, and I actually own this movie, but Ready to Rumble, when they brought David Arquette into WCW and
Oh,
he won the flipping title. No holds barred was that moment you go, oh, we can't go any lower than this. And then David Arquette's like, I'm WCW champion.
mm.
Oh,
So this was the portion of the show that I wanted to show off my Mother's Day pickups at Target, and you have the same figures, but you said they're on lockdown. Can you
yeah.
grab
So
them somehow or no?
I'm trying to. I'm texting him now,
Okay,
but
cool. Well, in the
he's
meantime, while
busy.
look at this comment. I get Michaels to beat up get Michaels to beat him up, even though I'm trying to what is that? Michaels to beat up Undertaker or beat up Bret Hart. Oh, I'm lost
Oh
on
no,
that
he's an
comment.
Undertaker guy. I'd get Michaels to beat him up. So I think either or. Hey, that first Hell in the Cell with Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. I mean, what a hell of a match. Shawn Michaels pre comeback. We all know he had issues. His issues had issues. His issues had issues. But performing in the ring, if there was a guy who could make a big guy look good, it was Shawn Michaels. I mean, I think we've all heard he could wrestle a broom and make the match look enjoyable. Um, but you know, Undertaker and Shawn were always special. Shawn and Bret were it. That's just
Mhm.
absolute gold, no matter what. But you know, I would love to see that first Shawn and Undertaker Hell in the Cell 2-pack combo or something. Hey JP, talk to those guys at Mattel for that. I think that would be great for one of those legend packs that next year. Just saying.
What
But
is this? We picked the wrong night to go live. Okay, well,
whatever.
it is what it is. I mean, tomorrow we got oh, you mean Lakers? I got it. Lakers game. Every night is an NBA. They're dealing with it in WWE and AEW. Their ratings are getting slaughtered by the NBA. We can't worry about that, right? I think that's what he means.
And,
Tomorrow I'm going
and
to New Japan, so I
and
won't be
just
around.
like with AEW when they talk about their ratings, you know, most of the people are going to watch this on playback anyway. So whatever.
Yeah, there you go. We're just we're here to talk to the loyal faithful. But look, we were talking Undertaker, so I figured, hey,
Oh,
let's so again, shout out to my guy Christian. We'll be talking about his story in a bit. We wanted it, but I was able to pick up some grails, man. Like this was the Phantom Undertaker, and some of these I got loose, some in the box, but I couldn't hesitate to get this one. I've got a lot of takers, but this is pretty essential. Do you have this one in your collection? Right,
we
dog?
do, yes. And you know, a funny
Awesome.
thing is, if you go to AEW, I'm sorry, A&E, not AEW, but A&E, they do a show like Treasures of WWE, and they had an Undertaker Treasures of WWE, and they go to his storage bin, and he had that mask that you had for that
Oh no.
figure.
Oh, okay. No kidding. Okay,
Yeah.
that's dope.
So Big Vis had broke his orbital bone when he did a splash on him, so they had to have that mask created to
Mhm.
protect it so he wouldn't continue to hurt it. So
Oh, that's sick. I gotta catch those most wanted treasures. I watched all the biographies, I think, most of them. And I didn't watch the rivalry ones yet, but I've been watching every night because of the Nitro stage, the Monday Night Wars on Peacock from like 10 years ago. I never watched that series. It's so funny to see like Roman Reigns, he's like a baby. You know what I mean? Like these guys are in like their young 20s from NXT, and they interviewed like everybody from there, like, and there he looks so young. But man, that some of those episodes, the Rock one, the Stone Cold one of the Monday Night Wars, that's a really good. It kind of tells the same story, but from that perspective of whatever, like Mankind or not, NWO, whatever. So highly recommended the Monday Night Wars. The Jericho one is awesome too. How it was kind of like Jericho was the best guy they had, and they didn't want to do anything with him and couldn't put him over, and so he left. And I thought that was crazy.
And Jericho in WCW, what a lot of people don't understand is he was at Smoky Mountain Wrestling, and he was with a tag team with Lance Storm.
Yep.
They then signed with ECW, and then he wrestled there for a bit, and then he went to WCW, and Chris got over, and he had almost like that list that he did now, but it was like a million and so wrestling moves, and he would
Dean
come out
thing. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And he would come out every week and challenge Goldberg, and he was so freaking over, and they let him walk. And WWF at that time was great with vignettes of bringing in new talent, whether it was Razor Ramon when he started out, whether it was Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, but that Y2J, that start, and I remember the countdown, and then it hit, and he comes out, looks like $1 million, and then he's got to verbally spar with The Rock, and The Rock just destroys him. But Chris recovered from there and had a pretty darn good career in WWE.
That's what's up. Since KJ say the ratings are going to be low tonight, let's turn it up. Let's turn it up right. Shotgun Saturday night, baby. All right, let's turn this up. I can't believe they got away. Like, imagine that. That was like some old late night USA programming that they had back in the day, right? Like with the silk stockings and some real kinky shit that they had back in the Attitude Era. That was 97, Shotgun Saturday Night. Pretty wild.
Look at some of the young ladies that would come to the ring with the Godfather. I mean, they came from the strip clubs because that's where they were all hanging out, and half the stuff they were wearing, it left nothing to the imagination. DX, it was flipping. That was that time frame. That was what made it so magical.
It's pretty wild. So I was like, and I couldn't think of anyone better to represent, even though this is a Horseman outfit, but. Man, dude, come on. My just like one of my all-time faves. Read his book. That's a great book, is by that they get the biography. But check this out again, another gem grail. So I have this old Legends inbox, but now this sale that Christian had gave me the opportunity to get a lot of these loose. So I could actually like play with some of these toys that I refused to open, years ago. And then so I grabbed a Ric Flair. You could get these for $12. They're $12 on Amazon. So even if you just want the shirt, I mean, you get a Ric Flair figure with it, and it's a good one. So right, so you get the mic, WCW mic. So I grabbed 2, and then gave the Ric Flair back to Amazon because they don't care. So now I have 2 shirts. If you know what I'm saying. So now hopefully there'll be Arn Anderson and all those. But unfortunately, we never get a Benoit. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, we got some comments. Hey, Punk, what up, dog? Jericho does equal ratings. Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did him and Roderick? What's up with that? How did they do in the ratings with that Roderick Strong match with the? Because I mean, they went against NBA and stuff, so it's hard. But I figured that would do good. Whenever in wrestling they fight outside and then the back, the ratings go up because people are flipping through and they're like, casual.
Yeah, AEW that's a whole nother fight.
Yeah, we'll get into that anyway.
Yeah,
Jericho Xavier. Yeah, it's just to go toe to toe with The Rock, and then he had, that story. How he had the countdown for Y2J while he was still in WCW. Some of the stuff, I mean, Pillman did the same thing, right? Like he worked everybody.
He told him he was going to resign, and then he signed with WWE.
Yeah,
because he knew he wanted to get paid.
Pretty well. While we're on ECW, you did pick up. I was hoping we would do a little comparison, but you did. Did you open it yet, at least?
Yes,
Or okay,
absolutely
cool.
love that figure.
You got it for $16 as part of that
Yes.
sale, right? So
Yeah, well, we pointed out the sale and I'd already ordered them, so I just went back and price matched it.
yeah.
So I got that, and then I have a red card, so I got 5% off of that on top of it and
Mhm.
free shipping.
Yeah, and
So
then so the phone breaks, so it's great playthrough for
yes.
kids, which is hilarious. And
Do
then
you know what
this
that's
is like
from?
the phone breaking. No, I don't. No, I don't.
So Paul Heyman brought back the original Midnight Express, and then you
Mhm.
had Jim Cornette with the new Midnight Express. And Paul took that big phone and he cracked Jim Cornette in the head with it. And I mean, Jim Cornette was bleeding like a stuck hog. And that's where that phone break came from, because that was Paul's little gimmick.
Oh man, that's awesome. And it's kind of a 2-in-1 because if you want WCW, you just take the hat off. Because I mean, that's essentially him. And then that's like early ECW Paul, when he
The only
first kind
thing
of
that, and Dylan did this, is he had a soft goods trench coat. So he put that trench coat on him for the ECW.
Oh, that's perfect. So like a trench coat from Undertaker, or
Yeah. Yeah. It was
okay.
one that we had picked up, I think from GPS Lot.
And
This
now
was
you can
soft
do
goods.
this.
Yes. Well,
You
Arn
got the
Anderson, if
dangerous
if you
alliance.
if you have the old 4-pack of the Horsemen, you can build out your Dangerous Alliance.
You could, man. How about last night I had to watch Clash of Champions 8 because
Oh,
I gotta go full screen on it. Actually, you know what I'll do?
yes.
I got a good one. I'm gonna do this and you talk about this while I go get the figure. No, Power Town.
Bruiser Brody, for folks who don't know, he was real in the sense that you thought the guy was absolutely nuts. And if you watched any of the Dark Side of the Ring, you know that he was actually killed in Puerto Rico. He was actually stabbed by another wrestler in the shower. Um, and he died there. And Bruiser made his living going to Japan. He and Abdullah the Butcher would have some of the bloodiest, craziest matches imaginable. Um, it was not unusual for them to go outside before you had hard barricades, and he'd be swinging those chains, and people would have to dive out of the way because they thought Bruiser Brody was legitimately nuts. And in truth, he was a gentle giant. And these figures look really, really good. And I think Kyle has a couple reviews up on some of these, correct?
Oh, yeah, he's got just Vern Gagne, I think. And that
Okay.
was he said he did it guerrilla style on location because I don't think he actually has it in
But
possession yet or something. Like he explained it on a show today. So
this is like, one of those third party figures I wouldn't mind picking up, but I really want to see how they look in hand first.
yeah. Yeah, we talked about that today on the Wrestling Figure News podcast. At the very end, we talked about random stuff, and I'm just like, we're at the point where we're getting so many elites. Jazzwares steps it up with Supremes. These other companies, we're hearing mixed things. It's a wait and see approach. But the problem is a lot of it's Kickstarter like. And if you don't buy in right away and they do come out and they are great, you're asked out and you're paying black market, second market. But that's the chance you got to take. And it's a gamble with any of these. Or you wait, maybe you could still pre order it and get it later because we don't know how these are going to be. Some of the, I believe Major Pod said they got the first version of this and it was broken out. Brian Myers said that like broken
Yep.
outside like right away. This is version 2. They went and fixed it. It's a great looking figure. Looks like a nice torso like Elite would have, but I don't know, man. All these places, Zombie, Power Town, or like all these things. I
Well,
don't know. I'm on a wait and see.
Super 7 put out the new Japan figures, the Japanese figures, and those had so many issues
They
when
didn't
they
even
came
look
out
that
for them.
good. They didn't even look that good. Now we got Storm Collectibles, same price. I got Suzuki and Liger behind me, and those are, I mean, 10 out of 10
Right.
wrestling figures.
But wrestling figures, even the third party and these Kickstarter like ones, you never know what you're going to get, and most of the time, folks wait on them.
What do you think about this comment right here?
Oh, look at wrestling as a whole. Look at how
Yeah,
many
because of Von
people.
Erichs.
Yeah, Von Erichs. I mean, all of them but one.
Yeah,
There's so many. There's absolutely so many.
yeah.
But yeah, the Hearts, they trained a ton of people, but there was also like 72 children. So,
There he is. What's up, Justin? There he is tuning in.
Justin.
So hey, pop Power Town. All right. I used to watch him as a kid in Dallas for World
Oh,
Class WCCW. I do. That was one of my favorites when I got to watch that on the cable. And yeah, every day, brother, every day that Owen Hart. It's yeah, the belts do look good, right? From the pack that we see. And
what's the worst thing about the Owen Hart is they continued that pay-per-view even after it happened.
wouldn't
Frickin'
happen
Vince.
these wouldn't happen these days. I'm kind of staying in the realm of that time. I was talking about Clash of Champions. Paul Lee did manage. I was able to get the chase. They don't seem that hard to get now, but there was a rush to get them. And just man, these are just spoiler alert for the wrestling figure podcast. All I'll say is these were my elite. These are my elites of the year so far. I have them as just a tie anywhere from Samu's lighter hair from the head shrinker set to just the tassels. Both of these kendo sticks, as you can see, they break away because I got the short and the long one. They break away, and yeah, did you open these? They got the soft kid
Yes.
skirt, and yeah, I just love the deco on the Samoan SWAT team. I mean, as head shrinkers, they had more of a presence, right? But these are just these are more toyetic to me. They're just
And
like
what
with the
and
coloring.
hopefully folks understand that Fatu turned into Rikishi, which is
Yeah,
the Usos, father, that one right there.
yeah, you
So
can see
that
it in
goes
his
back to
face.
that Anawahi bloodline.
Yep, that's right. So when we get the Jay Uso and Jimmy Uso ringside collectibles, we'll have the bloodline perfectly. Well, there's going to be some awesome photography when those Usos come out. So
That's what
uh,
Dylan is doing. He's got all of the bloodline together because I actually found um oh the fathers why can't I think of the head, not the head shrinkers, oh my god, Afa. Holy crud. I found them on eBay for cheap. And so I picked him up for him. So now he has all of the Samoan, the
the
Anawahi
real
family
heritage.
together
Yeah.
on a
Yep.
shelf, and it looks just so good.
Yeah, because that's Samu's uncles or whatever, right? So
Yep.
that's dope. One of the other one in the wave is the somewhat Pastamania Hogan, like WCW first appearance. And it's weird because you figured this would have been the Nitro stage, but then we know why, because Target is going to sell more of these than the Nitro stage, which didn't back anyway. But this would have made more sense to go with Nitro stage. Not that it matters now, but just looking at it, and I call it Pastamania. It doesn't have the chef hat, but it's kind of like he did the promo and the shirt, and he came out first in WCW, a real American Hogan. But I'm keeping it boxed because I think this will clearance out. I mean, I paid 16, may go down to $7 or $8 to be honest. It's
Take
a
it
good
back and
figure.
get the
I'm just
price
saying we
adjustment.
have a million Hogans. What was that?
I said, if it does go down, take the figure back and get the price adjustment.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So yeah, it's not thievery, just getting a good deal. Okay. We know we have Joe people in the house. I had to squeeze this in. We always have to mention GI Joe on every show we do, whether I'm a guest on someone's show or someone or whatever. We talk about wrestling, we talk about GI Joe. So here we go. I mean, that is Mr. T Ultimate Edition head sculpt on a. So we got Slaughter's legs there. We got infantry roadblock
Yep.
body, torso, and their arms and everything, and then that sweet mini 14. Shout out to Mark Von Cannon, Quaid, and Colin. And where's Tony? Tony's figs. He probably signed off. He said hi and signed off. You see, this is why I put this here, so Tony would have something to talk about in the chat. But yeah, what do you think about this one?
This I want now. I want this for my Joe. I've already started looking for the pieces for this. So
Mhm. That's Cage's Customs did that, Mr. T, for the Von Cannon. So
And it makes
pretty
so much
cool.
sense.
Yep.
It absolutely makes so much sense. So it's an
Mhm.
easy kit bash. You can find that ultimate figure, I think right now, pretty cheap.
Dirt cheap, and it was a $30 figure that you can get for $8 now. So
Yeah.
or maybe $10 or whatever. And he's awesome. I mean, I got it freaking right here. Right? So
Yep.
what do you know, right? So this is an awesome figure in itself, right? But then
Yeah.
he comes with the other head sculpt that we just showed, the chains, this awesome soft goods robe. It's a winner, man. But a lot of new collectors don't know A-Team Mr. T like that. They don't know the 80s culture like we do. So sucks to be them.
Such a great
Yeah,
show.
go to gridironprops.com. All right, cool. So, little segue here. So, Best of Super Juniors is happening right now in New Japan Pro Wrestling. This was a hell of a freaking match. If you subscribe to New Japan World, or you can find it on whatever Daily Motion, YouTube, seek it out. Mike Bailey has been. I'm a PWG regular here in LA, and and he's just been the man there. So he's had some wars with Bola. But he was basically the new Will Ospreay this past WrestleMania weekend. He had the WrestleMania weekend of last year, basically. He had like 7 or 8 matches. Vikingo owned WrestleMania this year, but Speedball is a terrific worker, and this was a great match. And that leads me into Resurgence. I'm going to New Japan tomorrow. Going to Long Beach to see New Japan at the Walter Pyramid, and there's a lot of big stars. Ryan, I don't know if you've been to a New Japan show locally near you, but they don't usually bring out that many wrestlers from Japan, and they stepped up. It's not like a pay-per-view killer card, but they have at least we're going to see the talent there, you
They
know.
have to start doing that because, the niche Japanese wrestling fans want to
Yep.
see them. And I know they're really big, especially in like California, your side of the States. We don't get to see much New Japan around here, but it's smart. There's an audience there who will buy tickets to go see the
Mhm.
show, and you can sell a shit ton of merch. And yeah,
Yep.
bring the
Yep.
stars out.
Exactly. Yeah. So, just to go over it quick, we're seeing Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné. There's a tournament for a New Japan Strong Women's Championship. This was a way to get her in the States and to get the title off her and still give her a title. She's probably going to win. I mean, stranger things have happened, but it's a pretty decent tournament that they have, like a 4-woman tournament. And then, yeah, we see big shots like Okada, Ishii. We got the club from AEW with Moxley and Wheeler and Shota, his
Oh, they're
protege.
they're
So
bringing Useless and the Plumber, huh?
I already added. I can't get away from you talking crap about my AEW. But Tanahashi and Osprey is the main event, and I'm pumped because Osprey was injured WrestleMania weekend. He was supposed to wrestle Speedball, and it didn't happen. But I'm happy that he's wrestling Tanahashi, and I believe the winner of this match goes against Lance Archer, and the winner of that match gets a title shot for Omega. Still has the U.S. Title. So we have, and then Zack Sabre is also on this, and Barbero from Mexico. He's a Cavernario is amazing talent. So it was a great get that we got there. So real
Osprey's.
excited. Yep. What was that?
I'm surprised Osprey's dealt with a ton of injuries. I know his style is, you don't want to call it reckless, but he puts his body through a lot, and he's a hell
Mhm.
of a performer, absolute hell of a performer.
He's already
And
talked
I,
about retirement pretty soon.
and
Like he's gonna keep working, but he said I don't have much time left. That's what he wrote, like an Instagram post saying that. Well, we're getting close, guys. So. Hey, what's up, Charlie? Hell yeah, dude. You got it. It should be a fun, yeah, for a local show, especially without missing like the elite and all that, which they don't have anymore. It's a pretty good, it's better than what they've had at WrestleMania weekend. That Impact New Japan show was, I could have done without it. So, Yeah, I mentioned Christian on the show earlier when I put this in a full blast. We're gonna interview him tonight. I wanted to talk to him about this amazing collection, and he went through some stuff. But the good news is he found a apartment close by. I'll let him, it's his own personal thing, but it's good news. He found an apartment. He's staying in Los Angeles. He wasn't sure if he had to move. Thankfully, he's keeping a Grail collection for himself, so he's not selling all his stuff. That makes me really happy. And I was able to buy some really awesome stuff. So I just kind of wanted to show off his stuff and then kind of show you guys what I got from him, because it's just like stuff I would never pay on eBay. The reason I pay a little premium is because to help out a homie, and I get to get some awesome figures in the meantime. So it was great to see Christian last Sunday. Yeah, he has this King Kong Bundy. Do you remember this one, Ryan?
Yes.
Yeah,
So you have
that's
funny story about this. I have
yeah,
this.
please do.
So
Oh.
we picked it up for like $5.
It's that's kind
Five
of like
bucks.
that's just those are the stories. Like I went to Christian's house, I thought, to make a transaction, and we hung out for an hour and a half because he just was like everything had a story. And I was like, damn, I should have like filmed this as like a documentary or something, because it's like a lot of that stuff, like Kmart, like $4 at Kmart, and now it's worth
Dude.
$400, like crazy stuff like that, just you never
Kmart
know what you're gonna pick up.
Kmart had the best selection of WWE figures
Really?
imaginable.
I
All
don't
the
even
fan channel
remember.
stuff they all got, and
No
the
kidding.
prices were great. We have a little reseller toy shop here in my area. It's called they're they're in Back Again Toys, and it has one of the largest wrestling figure selections out there. And it's in a flea market at first, and Dylan and I used to go there all the time, and they would have like this independent, wrestling program that would come through, and it was, for Dylan at 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, it was just fun. But we picked up so many great figures, cheap prices. It was scary.
Oh hell yeah.
And now, you go on eBay and it's like $150 for this. The Road Warriors you showed, I've seen them for 500 for the pair. And it's like it's ridiculous.
Dude, what do you think of? Look at all these accessories. Do you have something like that set up at your place? Just like customania, brother.
Yo, yeah, all the extra heads, the hands, just trying to, keep them all straight. The gear, the accessories. I mean, it's just the wrestling figures and what Mattel and the guys have done with them are just amazing. I mean, he's got the Ghostbusters version of the wrestlers, which were those. That was a fun little wave. That Undertaker, the Ghost Undertaker, that's all in purple.
Mhm.
Man, that's such a great figure.
No, it's fun. I didn't even know about that crossover till I went to Christian's house. I had no idea they even did a Ghostbusters. I was kind of out of the game at that point, but I was like,
And
wow.
those went on clearance like for nothing too. I mean, absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Now they're
As you can,
freaking crazy prices.
those two figures, that was a transaction. So we'll start off with
Oh,
Chico over here, but upgraded the Legends Scott Hall with the ultimate face sculpt, Game of Smiling one. Somehow that bandana, if you're careful, will fit on the head. It doesn't fit in nearly as good because the bangs aren't hanging over, but it still looks way better with that sculpt than that really atrocious one that Target got. But that's the beauty of Ultimates, is getting the 2, 3, 4 head sculpts and being able to use them, just a little boil and pop action on the old one, and it'll fit right in.
absolutely. This is a great figure too. That Scott Hall was just, that was a nice shout or callback to I think it was Toy Biz that had those
Yep.
WCW figures back in the day.
And I learned my lesson because I skipped many figures because of bad head sculpts, but now with Ultimate Edition, Supreme Edition in AEW, just buy the figure because you don't need the damn head sculpt because you're gonna get a beautiful one later on. Speaking of New Japan, Kairi Sane, of course, with Stardom. Wrestled some matches in for the IWGP. So I've always wanted the Kyrie figure, and it was hard to get. It was the only one.
Yep.
And I kind of, by the time I decided it, and then I love this look for Ashka, the network's spotlight figure. and these were cool just to get loose, part of the collection. So just beautiful deco on each one, great sculpts, don't have to change anything. She comes with her pirate wheel too. So I was very pleased to get both of these ladies. And speaking of ladies, Ryan, there's no lady greater in the history of WWE than Miss Elizabeth. Will you
Elizabeth.
marry me?
That's
Oh
such a
yeah,
great figure to put with the superpower set.
yeah. The
You
Mega
know,
Powers.
her
Yeah, yeah.
the outfit comes off, which is a a moment when she distracted the bad guys, and just such a great figure.
And so this was like a warmer, a typical, female WWE figure that's $3-4. But when the Mega Power set came out from Ringside, there was a mad dash to get these, to pay $5-10, and now they're 20 to 25. But even loose, you're gonna pay like, still $20+. So I was glad to grab it from a buddy. And one more loose one before I move on to the grails that I picked up from
Oh,
Christian. Man, I have this figure signed in box from Sting when I met him at Starcast. I believe it was 2019, 20. When was the first Double or Nothing? 2019, right?
yes.
So
20 no,
2019.
yeah, 2019.
Had to be because the pandemic was 2020. So 2019, Double or Nothing. I met Sting at Starcast when they used to do stuff with AEW, and it was a dream come true to meet my hero wrestling as a kid. And he signed my Crow Sting figure, and of course I would never open it, but now I actually, thanks to Chris, I got to, open it, play with it. He's part of my backstage set. And yeah, unfortunately, we're not getting the Nitro stage. If this was part of it, again, it would have got funded. But yeah, man, I'm just the lust in your eyes for Miss Elizabeth. Oh yeah. Look at this. People are using her hair for the latest Kitty Pride figure because it looked bad. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't even know about
Yeah, I
that.
can see that. That's what a lot of those WWE figures were picked up by customizers.
Oh, I could build a whole arena with those pieces. I don't collect WWE figs, but that would be a sick April O'Neil. Oh yeah, good shout,
Yeah.
right? With the yellow. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, like if she's in a dress, like going to the prom with Michelangelo or something. But yeah, no, pretty cool. So but dude, you talked about the Samoan SWAT team, Clash of Champions 8. They had a match against these two, not in these duds, but this is a dream come true for me to
What a rush!
what a rush. Um, they're not completely mint, but they're an amazing, they're amazing shape for what they are. So I don't know if I'll open them, but they're still grails to me. But I know I'm dying to play with them and open them, but at the same time, like I have these, why would I ruin it? But yeah, they're great, and I'm just glad that I was able to
Dude,
help out a buddy and help out my collection.
when you have a term in wrestling named after you, the Road Warrior Pop, that tells you how over those guys were. And the fact that I think there was like only two versions of those figures made. Uh, is it just they are the holy grails. I mean, just absolutely amazing.
They are, dude. Man, and then this isn't such a grail, but he had it, and I was like, I am a Sting guy, and I was surprised to know that this one actually doesn't sell for a whole lot. I thought it would be a hard figure to get. I never looked into it. I just figured it was just out of my range, but it really wasn't. So you got this
And
one?
that's one of the best Sting figures out there. And
Right.
we picked that up for I think $5 or $6. It was open, but still worth
Crazy.
it.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, it was okay. It was a open. Did you get the
Yeah.
box or loose?
No, it was loose.
Like,
We actually got Crow Sting and that one for like 20-25, I think altogether.
that's that's crazy. Oh, loose. Yeah. Oh, you did better than me. Um, yeah,
But
man.
Trav,
So
you got to think
what's
this
up?
was probably like 7 or 8 years ago when we picked
Oh,
those
yeah,
up.
different world then.
Yes,
Different
completely different world.
different world. And you know what? I was I'm gonna save these for last. Yeah, I had thing, but let's get into some more wrestling talk. Real quick, for those playing 2K23, man, this is an amazing CM Punk in a. I'm gonna now that I'm done Jedi Survivor, I want to hop back in and get some people over my house, play some war games, play some rumbles, and I downloaded all my created wrestlers. But this is a great CM Punk. Of course, that's a segue into AEW Collision. Ryan, your first thoughts on this whole thing?
I'm happy that they're splitting the brands. TK has such a huge roster, and picking up 2 more hours of TV time, splitting your rosters will hopefully help develop more opportunities for the wrestlers. And I think you can have like 2 different shows. My opinion of wrestling is it's like a circus. You want to have a little of everything, and I think having this as a Saturday night thing is a nice callback to the old WCW days where we're talking about wrestling instead of sports
Right,
entertainment. And I think you
right.
have some pretty good talent on this show that's going to be able to deliver.
Yeah. But I'm glad everyone's getting work because you don't want to see people on the sidelines, especially people you pay a lot of money for. You know what I mean? So yeah, it just would be kind of a travesty not to see, the Miros, the Andrades, the Thunder Roses, like they're just big stars. Where do you put them? It's here. All right, let's talk about it though. CM Punk, what is going on with this whole thing now? The last thing we heard was they're on good terms now or something like that. I don't know if you're keeping up with the dirt sheets or not, but
I think that's part of the problem I have with AEW right now is they are way too close to the dirt sheets, and I don't think it's
yeah,
helping Tony manage
right.
his business very well.
Hmm.
I think if I was him, I would tell Dave and Brian just to, you know, shut up and quit stirring the pot.
Hmm.
Punk is a big name. He brings people in and he can help you make money. If he
Right.
can't get along with, the that the executive VPs, then put him on Collision. I think it will be better off for everybody. Um,
Right.
and I think you could have a different version of this show compared to what we see on Wednesday nights. So would be more storyline driven, more serious wrestling compared to more, I would say more serious storylines compared to some of the more tongue in cheek or comedy stuff that we see, you know, going on with some of AEW.
Yeah.
Um,
Hell yeah.
I think House of Black being there, having FTR, they're champions. I think they can go between. But giving Miro, a chance to be a giant heel is just awesome. And I think it helps MJF to give him more competition that he can keep developing from.
Oh
Great
yeah.
figure.
Do you collect AEW figures?
Yeah, we collect certain figures that we like. So we have the MJF. That's just such a great figure, and he's such a
Yes.
pompous ass. You gotta love him.
Yeah, it's
You know,
about time. Like they've had some decent MJFs, but I've been totally out of. Yeah, I don't collect a whole lot of Jazzwares, but this was a good find, and I'm glad as a Walmart exclusive that it wasn't impossible to get. It was online. I don't even know if it's still online, but the link was up for actually a couple days, which was shocking. But they get the Dynamite Diamond ring, a good face sculpt, got the Burberry soft goods scarf, looking good. Love the green tights that really pop out amongst the colors, but this is a really good look for Max.
I would love to see him in the suit or with one of their Supreme figures where he has
Mm,
that suit and then wrestling gear. Um,
right.
what do you? I mean, do you think? I think this is good for AEW. I just hope that it's booked correctly, so it's more impactful than what we've seen so far.
Let's see what would the people think first. He's over
Yeah,
the backstage bullshit. Yeah, that's true. I am at the point where, man, after the all out stuff, man, it was tough to be like, man, I guess I hate CM Punk now after years of being a fan. And then over time you forgive him and he's kind of doing his world tour. But then when he does come back and he doesn't quite come back, and then this ace, like everyone said, this is a terrible hill to die on, this Ace Steel thing, if this is the case. But then everyone's been saying that he has been with AEW for a while now.
Yeah.
Like, I guess that was the news. Like, so the media's really messing this up too. So maybe it's like, maybe you got to kind of feel for CM Punk at this point. And that's why when I do watch they show his Instagram stories, I'm like, maybe not all of this is his fault. There's a better way for him to go about it, but he's kind of caught in this whole thing too,
This is my whole point for it. And this is with anything in wrestling. And if you can go back to ECW, you can go back to WCW, any of the territories, any of the guys that are on top never want to share that spotlight with somebody new coming in. And anytime you have somebody who's a bigger star than you, it hurts people's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what happened with it. You know, again, it goes back to wrestlers being tight with the dirt sheets, and don't share everything. Don't run to them and, say some of the stupid shit. And Tony should have told, Hangman Page and whoever else was saying stuff about, Colt Cabana and this, that, and the other. He should have told them, shut the hell up and, quit stirring the pot, because we all need to get along to make some money. And Punk shouldn't have come out at that press conference and aired all of that dirty laundry.
Yeah.
And, the EVP shouldn't have went into his dressing room. I'm sorry, but Nick and Matt Jackson don't look like badasses. And I don't know what they thought was going to happen with confronting grouchy old man Punk.
Yeah, especially a guy who didn't have much success in UFC. He's got a lot to prove with his fists, I'm sure. Man, I think this will be if this is the lineup. I know Hobbs is in there. They've got I think this really, because then you wonder, oh, why was MJF was obviously hot shot booking. I mean, not MJF, Wardlow, because I think they wanted him to go against Goldberg, because I think Tony was thinking that he had a chance for a one-off with Goldberg. So Wardlow Goldberg would be some kind of one-off. Hey, it's a ratings war. What can you say? But
dude, not Goldberg. He has nothing left. Wait,
yeah,
who did he wrestle in Saudi Arabia?
Undertaker, and it's like two of the.
Just an absolute garbage match. He's old. Fucking let it go.
Geez. So, all right. So, Double or Nothing's coming up a week from tomorrow. Really wanted to go. It's in Vegas, but not going to happen this year. But Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite, Anarchy in the Arena. These matches are always great in AEW. You couldn't ask for a better matchup if you're going to do an Anarchy in the Arena match. Of course, that's an ECW ECW match. Is that the Anarchy in the Arena?
No, I don't. No, they had anarchy rules.
Anarchy rules. See, it gets confusing. I think they're using the word anarchy because of ECW, but it's not quite. They wouldn't be able to do it anyway, right?
But still, I'm sorry. Look at this picture. One group looks like, oh, yeah, those guys look tough. The other one look like they're extras from Zoolander.
But it doesn't matter what they look like. They're going to go out there and have a killer match. These guys are all great workers. And especially we've seen the Young Bucks, these Young Bucks in these, what do you mean? No, they're not.
No, not one of these gimmick matches. It's good to use for a blow off, but Kenny is, I can't believe I'm going to say this. Kenny is a really good worker in the ring, and he can make stuff look good. Hangman Adam Page, I know that people like him a lot. He just has no personality.
Well, he's
And
the
then
guy that fits this match on that team, though. Like he's the cowboy. He's had some great war, a lot of bloody wars with Moxley, and I mean, he's kind of the
Moxley
guy. Yeah.
Moxley blinks his eyes and bleeds now. So I'm over him.
Oh,
But
trust me, Dangerman, you're not. He's not going to ever say a nice thing about AEW ever. So
oh,
you're in
hold on
for it.
now. I am going to say something nice.
Oh
I'm
wow!
just
Hold
saying
the phone. Hold the damn phone.
you have a great amount of talent, and these guys all have a particular match style that fits them. Put them in those match styles so that they can show what makes them great. Paul Heyman was always best when he would accentuate the positives and hide the negatives. I'm not Omega.
Oh man.
Oh, all
You're
right, whatever.
you're hurting some folks right now, Ryan. I mean,
Well, it's
come on.
tough. Go and go and watch Bruiser Brody matches. Go and watch his matches with Abdullah the Butcher. If you want to see hardcore shit in Japan, that was some pretty good stuff. I'm just saying, this is going to be a gimmick match where they're just going to bleed all over the place, and it doesn't help any of them. Kenny's
You
coming
know what?
back from pretty bad injuries, so let's protect him. He's one of your biggest stars.
You know what's causing me to bleed? These freaking. I complained about this. Look at these sunglasses. They have to be crooked because it doesn't fit under the hair.
Oh,
And look at it. And
they
you know how
don't
bad
have
they are anyway.
they don't have like the hair hole pieces to slide the.
No, no, like the Baroness from Retro Baroness or whatever. So we get this soft goods V-neck. Of course, what's great about these Supreme figures is this.
Yes.
You could just, swap out the legs. You can't do those on other figures without doing some kind of surgery on them. So yeah, that's what's great about these Supremes, and they still have a good quality. There goes the sunglasses. Get rid of them. But yeah, this is a great. This is one of the. He comes with two face sculpts, and this is the good one. The other one is terrible. But let's see if we can get a.
I think
Oh, maybe
Jazzware's still trying to find their way with the
there
head
we go.
sculpt.
But yeah. So these are cool, and yeah, he looks good. He looks really good. Really, I didn't mean to have his shirt like that, but yeah, he looks really good. And so I want to do a little comparison because I got the other Supreme, which is to me it's
Oh,
better. It's a better figure to me, the other Supreme, because he comes with four face sculpts. And
yeah.
while I like the deco on the legs better on this one, not the jeans, I'll show you in a minute, but so it's a little bright, but yeah, here we go. Okay, cool. But yeah, that's a great sculpt. That's one of the best. That's probably the best Kenny sculpt they got going on right now. So,
And
but
he's
yeah,
a
I got
hell of a
that.
wrestler. He is an absolute hell of a wrestler. Him and Will Ospreay at the last match they had in New Japan was just amazing.
So this is actually, let's see, I'll put us both on for a minute while I do this, but got the you could pop the legs out on these Supremes. Now this Kenny, did you grab this Kenny from Walmart? This
Yeah, we do have that, Kenny.
oh, you do have it. Yeah.
Mhm.
You were supposed to unbox things on this show. Right? And you're
Yeah, I
killing
know. Well,
me.
when you are just the part time parent to the collection, I
No,
have to wait
I know,
for
I know.
weekends and holidays where I can actually play with them.
I gotcha.
You
Yeah,
know, when I said, "Hey, I want to do a figure review," he's like, "Well, when?" Like, okay.
well, that's awesome. I mean, I can't imagine more joy in my life than, if I had a son who was into the same thing. That's terrific, bro. But yeah, like just to show, so they get these, I like these tights the best. There's some kind of like Final Fantasy, Street Fighter whole, without using the actual legalese there, but he's got that whole get up that he likes. He kind of always does an ode to the gaming. But yeah, these are just terrific. These are my favorite of the leg tights that he does have. But I think overall, this one comes with so many more sculpts, as you can see, and this one only comes with, am I missing a box? Oh no, here we go. So as you can see, there's all these face sculpts, and then this one comes with the worst one to me. I know if Justin's still here, he liked it, but Justin from Wrestling Figure News, I don't care for it, but the other ones look good. Like I like the top one, I like the bottom one, so but yeah, I mean you get kind of like the what is it, all the belts, Kenny, World Tour belts with that one, but then you also get nice vest look with the new Supreme one, but then the old one also has kind of the one wing angel.
It's another
Oh yeah,
great.
and on the what's up?
I said that was another great, tights that he had, and then you get
Yeah, and then
that.
so this comes with Supreme actually, this vest, but then the tights, yeah, these are kind of more traditional Bullet Club, New Japan, kind of very cool looking. Yeah, but these are very Final Fantasy actually, if you look at them really quickly. But yeah, I like the original better, but the Supreme is still great. So, but overall, very happy that I finally have two figures. I have the one. Do you remember the one from Pro Wrestling Tees that was released? It was an exclusive. I can actually grab it. Why don't you talk about this match while I go grab that one?
I will just say this. I'm a huge fan of MJF. I think he is the top heel in the business today. Darby Allin, pound for pound, is probably the toughest professional wrestler that I have ever seen. When that guy throws himself, he literally throws himself.
Right.
Sammy Guevara, I think, actually has absolute ton of talent. Turn that boy babyface and let him shine. I think the one that's the weakest in all of that is Jungle Boy Jack Perry. But I think that's more so just how he's positioned. His gear, I would love to see him in like pants instead of trunks, because it looks like a kid wearing grown-up wrestling tights. I just think having a stylist to help these guys would make them so much better.
Here you
But
go. I'm staying here tonight just to rag on Dreadnok every chance I get. Welcome to hate watching, sucker.
that's fine, dude. You can if
Yeah.
this is the thing. I hate on WWE too, so
Right. All right. Well, I
I'm an
can't wait to
equal
hear that.
opportunity hater.
We're going to be talking WWE Night of Champions in a bit, but hey, so this is the one I was talking to you, Justin. This is the one I was talking to you about on the show earlier. This was the Pro Wrestling Tees. Those tights, I think those are my favorite tights that he has. I mean, those are just sick. And then this is actually, man, now that I look at it, it's a good sculpt too. I think when I saw the box, I was like, oh, another terrible Jazz Wears Kenny sculpt. But then when I got it in hand, it's great. But since it's like one of 3,000 and from Pro Wrestling Tees, I probably won't open it. But this is an awesome figure. I love the shirt. This really pops too. Like the coloring on the box. See, yeah, it's a really, this is one of my faves, man. It's so I got
The
three
only
great
problem I
Kennys. I'm very happy.
the only problem I have with the AEW packaging is you can't freaking open it without tearing it apart.
Yes. So that was my next subject while we discuss Double or Nothing. So you got these cool trays, right? I love this because we actually didn't get to talk about this on the podcast. I love these trays, how they're
Yep.
on the side. And man, after opening my Supremes last night, they this is just what the freaking hell is this? I can no longer present this. And it's too bad because look at the back. How wonderful that staging is. They got the dynamite
Yes.
staging. And then I can't do anything. Like it's done. I have to throw this out.
Yeah, and that's one of those packages that you're like, I would keep it because I could store the figure plus all the accessories in when I'm not messing around with it, and it looks like a freaking beautiful display piece.
I know. Like you almost is it to force people to buy two? Because these are really expensive and they're I think the price is good for what you're getting. I think
Yeah,
$42 to $44. I think it's 42. It's a $10 more than an ultimate. You do get your money's worth.
yeah.
To me, you get your $42, but to have to buy two just because
Well,
you're gonna do this to me, I don't think so. But this
and
is horrible.
buying two of them can be difficult. I have a
Yeah,
kid,
you're not
my
gonna
kid
find
is
two of these anywhere. Go ahead.
right, but it's like figure out a way of making that package, so you can keep it because it's beautiful.
Ugh.
Can you imagine having your AEW display with all of that stuff, your wrestlers behind it? It makes you want them more.
Mhm.
But I'm going to call something kind of crazy here. I think Darby comes out as champion.
Wow. Well, here's the thing. So I think MJF is one of the best characters in wrestling. I think he's already a great all-time heel. He hasn't been a draw. Now that isn't really he hasn't been a draw as far as ratings, but then again, I don't think it would matter who the champion would be. So I'm not putting this on
Right.
Max because I think with the NBA and the NHL and WWE being hot with Triple H and Bad Bunny and all this, like just I'm just saying, I don't think even if you had a different champ, I think he's done as good as he could do. I mean, some of the skits we had, like that Broadway one he did, was mind blowing. The guy's killing it on the mic. He's an all time great already, and he's freaking 25. He can in big matches. He can wrestle. When he listed his resume on that promo, and they were showing highlights of matches, I was like, yeah, this dude's had like 4-star matches with everybody, like legends, and he's beat them. So I'm like, I'm just like, but I think maybe they need a spark really bad. And I think maybe that spark could be Darby Allin. Right now
But
it's it
even
could
if
be.
you switch the belt, you still have to have something to carry the champion by. And where the booking and this isn't just AEW. WWE struggled with this too. If you look at a lot of the people they put the title on, they've done nothing with them since. When Max won the title,
Mhm.
there should have been somebody that was already coming after him that he could have feuded with. And as great as this 4-pillar match is, he should have had each one of them individually coming after him instead of it being booked like it was. And I think if they were
I
all,
agree with that for sure.
individually coming after him, and then it's a fatal 4-way, then you don't think that they're going to help each other, but then it puts your champion in jeopardy. Where then if Max cheats to win, you hate him more, and you want to see more of these matches down the road.
You have someone supporting you, and it's hard for me to. I thought originally the 4 pillars thing was a great idea. I knew it would build to a four-way. The four-way match is going to be phenomenal because they're all great. They have good chemistry. They all have experience wrestling each other. That's key. So I think the timing should be good. It's their time to. They all want to shine as much as possible in front of this audience and Tony. So I think they're gonna. It's gonna be a killer match. But I agree. Some of the builds to a lot of these big matches in AEW have been rough. You know what I mean? So I do agree with that. Let me talk about the packaging just to switch over real quick before we finish with this main event. Was a lot of it I heard was due to them not wanting the figure swap. So the reason it's hard to open any AEW Jazzwares figure is because of figure swapping that you see with Elite, which is pretty prescient in Target and Walmart. No, what do you think, Brian? You're shaking your head.
I just I call BS on that because Jazzware sells these figures to Walmart, Target, so they don't really care. They've sold their figures,
Right. So
and it's
why are
on
they making
Walmart,
them so
Target
freaking
for
hard to
them.
open?
Pardon? Yeah, but if somebody's going to steal them or do figure swaps on them, they're going to do it. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
I just think if you have a great product and you put that much into the packaging, there's folks that are going to want to take those figures out and then put them back in the packaging, especially with those Supremes. That packaging is just amazing.
I know. It's yeah, it's such a tragedy that I threw the other one away because I was so angry. But these I opened a little more carefully. I don't know what I'm gonna do. They're just a fucking mess right now.
Yeah, and
Um,
if you could pull that back out and it was like pop out, like the old pop out books used to be, and you could put that up on your shelf, that would be great. But
this MJF's going over. He'd better. Tony's a goof. I don't think he's goofy enough to put Darby over. Sammy, because F y'all. Yeah, Sammy, that's not happening. I know he's doing, on the all access and all that, but it's not his time.
Sammy needs
What
to be a baby face.
he
Sammy
does. And I
has
think
to be a
they're
baby face.
trying really hard to make him, but it's that whole thing with his ex-fiance when he
Yes.
proposed that killed it didn't kill his career because he's actually gotten greater matches. He got a beautiful wife, really cool looking broad,
But dude,
but he's
that that
JAS.
that cost
But
him a shit ton of money in
it
merch
cost him tons
because
of
that
money in
boy was
merch.
over.
Yep. Nobody's buying merch and he's a heel and they boo, but he just I didn't
I
kill his
mean,
career, killed his babyface career, maybe.
when
What a
he
pot.
beat Miro
Yeah.
and he won the TNT title, he was at the top of the world. And then it comes out that which I can't blame him. I mean, his wife, Ty Conti, I can't blame the man. I can't.
No,
And
no, no.
people turned on him because but still, it's like,
He went from a
guys,
4 to a 10. He went from a 4 to a 10. And look, I don't want to be so superficial here, but we've seen Tay Conti on TV. She seems real cool. She's a wrestler. She's in the business. They have chemistry. They have everything in common. Like dream girl right there. You were with someone you dated from high school. It happens, but unfortunately, you're in the public, you're in the spotlight, you're in AEW where things are a little less forgiving in that area than maybe some
plus
other federations. So, yeah,
plus he did that video blog behind the scenes stuff,
this was
which
bad. Yeah, the stuff with Sasha was bad, but
yeah,
that didn't really get as blown up as the leaving his wife for Ty thing. But yeah, it was weird. It was weird. It was bad.
but
Yeah.
again, Sammy is that
Yeah.
he's a baby face. And if you had 3 baby faces versus MJF, changes the dynamic of that match altogether. And nothing against Jack. It's just he's not where he needs to be right now.
He's
He
kind of
needs
the
to
odd man
find
out in this match to me.
he
Yeah.
needs to find out who he is and get a voice
Yeah.
and be able to cut promos that put him over.
Yep. I agree.
And
They
God,
all had yeah.
did you see that match Wednesday night where he fought the guy from Ring of Honor?
Roosh. Roosh beat him
Yes,
down for the whole match, and then he had to pull the tights to win. That's not a great way to build yourself in a main event at a big pay-per-view by pulling the tights on a guy who wrestles on Ring of Honor Rampage. Now, Roosh is
well,
great, but Roosh
but
beat
then
the
Rush
crap out
almost
of him.
killed him too. Rush about killed him when they were doing that spot on the outside of the ring apron, and he flipped him. I thought for sure that Jungle Boy landed on his damn head. I'm like, oh my God, you've got this big pay-per-view coming. Don't do it.
It is brutal. All right, let's go. Let's get through this card. We got Jamie Hayter and Tony Storm. They will have a great match.
2 best women wrestlers today, Dr. Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter, above everyone else. Tony Storm is a good wrestler, but
she's really good.
She's not Jamie Hayter's class.
No, she's really good. But Tony Storm has had some hurt. That match with Thunder Rosa was terrific. She's had some bangers that were pretty slept on, and then people look back and they're like, and Jamie Hayter, her run has been awesome, and she's been so consistent in the ring, the most consistent in-ring performer female that they've had since starting.
And I'm saying DMD and Jamie Hayter are better than any woman in WWE right now. Rhea is really, really good, but if we're talking straight women's wrestlers right now, it's Britt and Jamie.
Hey, love it. I'm not going to argue that. And that's funny because, you know, I'm more known as AEW, you're WWE, but I actually really love the women wrestlers in WWE. But that's cool. I think Britt and Hayter are killing it. All right, so I'm glad they changed the name of the title, right? I want your opinion on that. That Atlantic, All Atlantic, that's a weird name, but International is cool. I'm cool with International House of Pancakes, House of Oranges, championship. And you know, they always do a goofy, to quote the comment from Puro Wrestling, they always do a goofy battle royal because it's Vegas, blackjack, whatever. He called it black. It was casino battle royal, but now it's blackjack. So yeah, they're doing something different. I don't know what it is. Does he wrestle 20 men? Does he wait till the battle royal is over, then wrestles the guy who's last? Either way, it'll be a shenanigans, but you got to do it. It's a Vegas. It's a tradition.
But does this make this title then like the 24/7 WWE
I don't
title?
think it's that goofy because Orange Cassidy's had really good matches every week, and he's actually a draw. So there's a reason a lot of times when you turn Dynamite on, it's Orange Cassidy first. He tends to have good ratings. So he's over, and he's
He's
having
over
a
with
good
the he's over with the fan base, but I
yeah.
loved Orange Cassidy at first. I loved him on the independents. I found him very funny. I loved his matches that he had because it made sense. It was the indies. But he's just not. I want to see him develop more than just you know, just the guy is talented. I just, something more, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. I think he's doing a great job, but you know, it's a belt that is new, so you can't really just. It's like the European title when they first had that. You know, I mean, that it is what it is, right? So, all right, AEW World Tag Team Championship, FTR are the tag team champions, and they're going against. It's been a kind of a funny storyline with Mark Briscoe. I can already see it in your face. I figured you would love this because it's got Jeff Jarrett in it, and Jay Lethal and all that. So, hey, FTR, they're right at your Jim Cornette bread and butter. This is how wrestlers should look, should be, should perform. Why are you shaking your head? You're getting classic, legendary workers here, brother.
FTR and the Briscoes have had multiple great matches. Jeff Jarrett is a great worker, but Jeff Jarrett's days in the ring should have been over a while
He's
ago.
looked good for his age.
Because he still wrestles old school style.
And
He
that's
he
what you
he knows
like
what
is
he's doing. But just let me
exactly
finish.
pick
Let me
something.
finish. Let me finish. I'm just saying Jeff as a producer or booker or something like that brings more to the table for AEW. Jay Lethal is an amazing talent. Sanjay Dutt is a great heel manager. I don't get the giant guy. I don't
You know what?
understand.
I'll tell you what it was. It's kind of like one of the other matches we're going to talk about in a second, but I think they brought Singh was Lethal's partner. He's just nobody wants to see those almost kind of guys. Almost gets away with it because it's WWE, very, very casual audience. And he's wrestled guys like Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, kind of like put in a higher spotlight to get it. And those two matches were good, right? But for Singh to come in, I mean, I think it's just the AEW audience, the indie where they accept wrestlers that are 5'6", 150 pounds. Like everybody's a Rey Mysterio, Adam Cole size guy, and they love him. A Singh guy, it does not work, but they've already signed him. He's an attraction, and I think he's just part of this stable, and he adds an element they don't have. But they know people don't want to pay to watch him wrestle. So Jeff Jarrett, they said, "Are you in shape?" He said, "I'll get in shape." He got in shape. He's looked good. He's replaced Singh in this angle. They switched roles. I think Jeff Jarrett was just a tough talking manager with a guitar, and he's got into the ring because Singh's not going to get it done.
So I'm just going to throw this out there. Imagine Jay Lethal having a program with MJF because Jay can talk. You put Jay Lethal as the underdog, baby face who's fighting for his opportunity to finally get that big title. How about you put Jeff Jarrett MJF together and let them go after each other verbally? Because Jeff can put on a great match with MJF. I just think it's a throw together match that doesn't make sense. And you have
So
Briscoe,
here's where I'll go ahead.
who, with the loss of his brother, you could have taken that and put him up against Claudio to win the Ring of Honor title to make something happen and really put Mark Briscoe over and let him be the star. That guy comes out on AEW TV and the people pop for him. They respect him. Do something with these guys. You're wasting an opportunity. Will this match be good? Absolutely. They're 4 professionals who know what the hell they're doing. It's going to be a great match.
Right. That's
it
what
just doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I guess not. But you know what? FTR does need to just win, right? They need some wins because that Acclaimed storyline was so hot, and they took off the titles because they had to tell this FTR story. They wanted to keep FTR, right, from Triple H. So they had to get them back in there. You know, they were butthurt with the CM Punk thing. They gave them the titles, they gave them the contract. They just got to keep winning and winning matches, and then hopefully it builds to them in the Acclaimed down the line, and then maybe builds to, if FTR maintain, builds up to them and, you know, the Bucks or Lucha Brothers again when we get some real tag teams. But they're going with the 6-man stuff, so that's kind of sideline their tag team division, if you will. You know what I mean? Like they've taken the best tag teams and made them trios. So it's kind of dismantled what they had go. They had the best tag team division ever when they started. I mean, with Lucha Brothers, I mean, the best since the 90s. I mean, they had Lucha Brothers, Young Bucks, FTR, and then Acclaimed comes out of nowhere. You had some just I'm missing a million teams.
Jurassic Express. You had the
Express
Butcher and the Blade. You know, you had a number, even Chuck and
I mean, Rush and Andrade.
Yeah, but those were thrown together. But you had some really good tag teams that you could build, but
right,
you know,
they went with
it's egos. That's been the problem, I think, with AEW.
Yeah, that's what it is. At the end of the day, you know. All right, look, FTR, it'll be solid, and well, they are. It's a stable. So what do you? They of course they're going to be involved, and then Briscoe. I don't know. I kind of like the chicken farm segment. I thought it was hilarious. I thought Daddy Briscoe was funny as hell. Doug, and Sanjay's a great on-camera guy. I don't hate this build. I think it's been good. I think it's just that.
I think you have 4 very serious workers who know how to tell a better story without it turning into dumb humor.
All right, Ryan, we need some dumb humor on this show. Can I get you to sing With My Baby Tonight right now?
No.
Start it off with the first. I'll be Road Dog, you be Double J, or you be
No,
Road
I don't
Dog,
think so. No, we're not doing that.
Someone put the lyrics in the chat and we'll start singing them. Start posting.
God, talk about a freaking bad Vince McMahon gimmick. That right there was a freaking dumb
I loved
Vince
it.
McMahon
That's
gimmick.
I fell in love with Jeff Jarrett. Ain't I great? Oh man. All right. Random trivia. Jeff Jarrett is married to Kurt Angle's ex-wife, Karen. Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. And so let me add this. I'm surprised Karen Jarrett's not on this artwork because she added something this last week. I've always dug her in AEW. I mean, the problem is she did the in the nuts move that we had just seen in the Wardlow that's a problem there. But otherwise, seeing Karen Jarrett was nice. It added some spark to this. She's great. I don't mind her.
No, and she's been around in
FTR is not heel.
You kind of sort of though. Kind of sort of, he's right. It is heel versus heel.
FTR is not heels, are they?
No, but that's what I mean by the build. It's that they're heelish because they're trying to get Mark's favor.
All right, moving on. We got Wardlow, who's he's the TNT guy again after they dropped the ball with him with you should have really kind of he was their Goldberg, and they messed that up. But now you got Christian Cage, which I do love. I did love the swerve when Christian brought out Luchasaurus, and we're like, oh, we don't really, Luchasaurus is good for a big guy, but we were like, not. But then they were like, no, it's me that wants the title. And the only problem with this is ladder match. Wardlow has shown some great athleticism. He does that kind of Phoenix splash. There's no doubt that he could work a ladder match, but Christian is what, 50 something years old. And I'm a little worried about him taking some bumps in this match, man. There's a reason why he's not in WWE anymore, right? The concussions and all that. And now he's in a ladder match against a big guy. I don't know,
Christian
man.
he's gonna help lead Wardlow through this match to make it a good match. I just pray they have a ladder that's tall enough to reach the title, so we don't have the Powerhouse Hobbs issue where I was so scared that dude was going to fall and break his neck.
Yeah. Oh, this is funny. This is hilarious. Ryan's a flat out heel, and he won't even sing. Yeah, it is outrageous. I mean, we
Hey,
gotta
buddy,
sing.
it's heel knock. It's heel Dreadnok. I've always been a heel.
Someone just give me the opening. I don't want to Google on the show. Someone give me the opening line, and I'll start singing because I'll remember it. But I don't know. I
But
don't want to
I
Google
hope
it.
I think this will be great for Wardlow. I hope he can get back on track. Because damn, I would love to see him and MJF go at each other again. He's unique, and use him.
Mm-hmm.
So much talent on that roster, just so much talent.
Yeah,
WWE lacks talent right now, and freaking AEW's overfloweth.
Yeah. So one thing is though, the mid card in AEW is so superior to WWE's. So at the top, I think WWE's just got it with, they just got it at the top. They, with Roman and everybody, Cody, but I think the mid card is so good. You get so many good matches on AEW every week, and that's why I enjoy their program more, because I enjoy the whole show. Where WWE, I'm just kind of waiting for the big stuff to happen, and that's a WWE audience. They just wait for big stuff to happen. Where AEW will get behind, those fans will get behind freaking anybody. You know what I mean? They get behind people on from the indies, just to, it's a different audience,
Yeah,
so.
but see, the only problem is, you know what killed ECW, right?
But I was about to sing My Baby Tonight, but you go first and then I'll do it. Go ahead. No, I'm kidding.
Only booking to their audience.
Yeah, you can't
You
do
have
it.
to grow your audience.
Right.
WWE is sterile. And that's part of the problem, that they don't build to make people care about their wrestlers. AEW has so many wrestlers. You can't build that reason to care about them, because you might see them this week and then it's 6 weeks later before you see them again. But yet I get Action Andretti 3 or 4 times in a row, but I can't get Wardlow, or I can't get FTR, or somebody else.
I agree. Especially in the women's division, they're like, no wonder he reads the card so fast, because he's like, Jamie Hayter versus, Vanilla Woman. They're like, I'm like, what? Like, who is this? Like, where did they find her from? Like, you know what I mean? They don't use their own talent. So I guess it's like to prevent 50-50 booking. You just like, it's like, instead of having stars versus stars in WWE where you just got everyone takes turns, they just have stars go against nobodies from the indies, and that way everybody wins. So it's kind of that. So you ready? We got lyrics. Spend my day working hard on the go, but the hands on the clock keep spinning too slow, because I can't wait to be alone with my baby tonight. Oh, yeah. My baby's got me wrapped around her old little finger. Come on, Ryan, get into it. Get in the spirit. Get in the spirit.
Boo!
But like, compare AEW's mid card. I mean, you got like super talented guys that anybody could be a champion. And then WWE got like Rick Boogs and like these guys, you know what I mean? Like, I just can't, like,
Baron
nobody's over.
Corbin.
Yeah, you got nobody's over. Nobody's
Yeah,
over.
no.
I'm glad it got over. I think I sang it somewhat correctly, right? I mean, I hadn't heard that song in 20 years.
God, that was
Thank you guys
such
for
a
the lyrics.
horrible
Look.
gimmick.
Oh, I love it. I love Double J and Road Dogg and that song versus song. They did it before all these reality shows were doing it. Vince was ahead of his time. That's for sure. WWE was never bigger than the 80s and 90s. That's false. WWE during the Attitude Era. So it is 90s technically. Okay, but it's 96, 97, 98, 99. That was the
Yep.
height of pro wrestling in
Yep.
2000 somewhat. But yeah, when we
However,
started getting the new millennium, that's the ruthless aggression. That's when we lost people.
I will say this.
Yeah.
They sell out bigger buildings now than what they did in the 90s.
They
But
do.
if what people watching it on TV, absolutely, it was bigger in the 90s.
Oh, yeah, no question. All right. So moving on from AEW, I think it'll be a good show. I think it's one of those shows you look at the card and you're like, this is not as good as their other pay-per-views. And then everyone just kind of
Yeah.
overachieves. I think it'll be, especially the main event. I think that
And,
four pillars match is going to be unbelievable. Anarchy, that's an automatic great match. But yeah, God, last thoughts on Double or Nothing.
and I have to give props the Wembley show. I know there were a lot of people who were talking shit about they wouldn't sell as many tickets, but they've showed that they can sell the tickets.
Thank you for
And
bringing
I
that up.
just let Tony has the ability to bring in a number of different talents. He has relationships with everybody. Just please use your roster, put some of these guys and gals in better opportunities to showcase what they can do. And if you have folks that are going into big matches and you have producers, make sure they're not doing stupid moves that could injure themselves before big matches. Please and thank you. That goes for WWE as well.
Exactly. But you know what? You know what is so great about AEW and so bad about AEW? Their two best figures that they have are not even are these guys even on the card at Double or Nothing? These are the best wrestling figures of the year, in my opinion, especially this Pentagon. But what you get is so great. Look how big these things are with the headdresses, the Aztecian headdresses. These are superb. They are supreme. They
Yes.
live up to the name. The face sculpts are beautiful. I will show you more of them. Oh, you
But
got
is
Ray
it,
Fennec,
I was going to say, isn't Ray injured right now, though? That's why they're not.
possibly, but they're the ROH champions. So I don't
Okay.
know if they're oh actually no, they're defending the title on Wednesday. They have a title match Wednesday, a
Oh,
Ring of
okay.
Honor match. So maybe they will be at Double or Nothing because they still remember the card is not for another week, so they still can announce matches. But
Hell, they're going to
anyway,
mount matches up to the last minute.
look how
But yeah, it's an
great this is.
amazing figure. Absolutely gorgeous figure. When
And
they
once
came out with
again,
that gear on, it was awesome.
yep,
That's
this was
awesome.
all in, all out. I mean, again, yeah. I think someone can correct me on that, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, look, so but this is the home run. Penta el Cerro Miedo. Cerro Miedo. Look at that. You could do his pose. Look at the face sculpt. This headdress is, and then we get that Rey Mysterio coming out from WrestleMania, so you could put all three with the headgear on there. But look at that,
Yeah,
dude.
but his mask and his gear is just always on point.
Ray, you mean Ray or Penta?
Penta.
Oh, Penta is the most toyetic wrestler there is, right? I mean, there's just it's amazing what you got. Why can't I get this? Anyway, I get this stupid aid, this Jasper's packaging. It's frustrating. But
You
yeah,
know,
this is
I know
yeah, go
we
ahead.
bitch a lot about this windowless packaging, but there's one thing I don't miss is those stupid plastic trays that figures come in. God, I'm so glad those are gone. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Such a great head sculpt. And that's what's kind of frustrating about Jazzwares is they nail some of them, and then some of them you're just like, what the hell? Yeah. Come on, focus.
What am I doing wrong? Why is it?
Nothing.
Okay.
I think it's just the colors on him. It's an amazing
Oh,
figure, though.
anyway, yeah, it's great. And you could take the jackets off, take the arms off. Comes
Oh,
with all these additional
you
hands.
forgot a couple matches too.
Yeah, I didn't get promo. So talk about them while I play with these Supremes.
So
You got
I
them?
want to see what Jade, my girl Jade and Taya Valkyrie do. Taya's
Yeah, that'll
got the
be good.
experience, so I think they're going to have a pretty big banger of a match.
Hmm.
I don't know how I feel about. You've got the Hardys, and you know that their time is limited. So I would love to see them have matches with some of the bigger tag teams to get the most bang for your buck. But I think them going against Austin Gunn, Colton Gunn will be a pretty good match. Of course, Ethan Page and I think it's Isaiah Cassidy. But then you have, malnourished Adam Cole versus Jarrah Hogan for the unsanctioned match. So that should be pretty interesting. Um,
Yeah, that's
Adam
right. We
Cole
didn't even
looks like
mention
he's
Adam Cole
still
and Jericho.
recovering.
So, yeah.
And Jericho looks like he's still using the Just for Men to make himself look a little bit younger still.
You're bad, man. You're
But I
bad.
think Cole goes over from Jericho. I think the Hardys win. I think that's a nice opportunity for the Guns to work with a veteran tag team. And
Yeah.
then I think that Jade continues her undefeated streak.
Yeah, I agree with all three. I do. I can't disagree with that. But what happened? Bagging on Adam Cole. Yeah, you're
Hey,
having a tough time with this crowd.
Adam Cole I know he had the concussion issue, but
I'm
there
listening
we
to you.
go. There
I'm
we
listening
go.
to you though.
That's
Look at that.
awesome.
That
It's
is the best wrestling figure of the year, I think, in my opinion. But yeah, it is. It's up there. I don't have the Seth Rollins Elite yet, Ultimate yet, but that probably this is. I mean, at the end of the year, we'll still be talking about this bad boy. It's just awesome. Good. I'm sorry, Ryan. Keep talking, bud.
no. I was
Yeah.
just gonna say I think I know Adam Cole had the concussion issue and stuff, and he's a hell of a performer. He
Hmm.
just doesn't look like the Adam Cole from NXT, and he looks smaller than what he was.
Yeah, he's too
Such a home
busy
run.
on Twitch. Too busy on Twitch playing video games and not in the weight room. I agree, man. Like I think your world champion should have somewhat of a physical. And it's crazy because his girl's in such great shape. And then you're just kind of like, what do you do? I mean, it's not like he's in terrible shape. He's not like, Gilbert, but he could be he could just lift some weights. I agree. These guys are so great. My God, you're awesome.
Well, and Adam Cole has. You want to talk about somebody who can make a run with MJF or with some of your other heels? Adam Cole is a great performer, and
It was
and
all out.
and I would just love to see him have that ability to come out, carry that title. Can you imagine Adam Cole and Kenny Omega? Can you imagine, the Undisputed Era versus the Elite? That's the kind of stuff that you could get, but Cole just doesn't look the same as what he did in NXT. So
Mhm.
hopefully they
Yeah.
figure that out.
Well, he's kind of their number one baby face right now, right? Is kind of what they're going with because if you think about like Kenny's in a group, right? And they turn Moxley heel because they're kind of running out right there, and then MJF's a heel. None of the guys really. Darby is up there, but I think who's a bigger baby face? Adam Cole or Darby Allen right now? Good
I
question.
think Darby is right now because I think people want to see Darby get that chance. But I think Adam Cole is a more marketable babyface for the company compared to
Right.
Darby Allen.
Right, I got you. Like you could have Adam Cole as a Shawn Michaels and you have Darby as like a Undertaker, kind of like companion. Like he's kind of the dark. babyface, but still has mass appeal. But he's not like he's one of the faces of your company, but he's not the potential Hogan kind of Stone Cold, like the guy you want first. Like
No,
not Stone Cold, but The Rock. Yeah.
I think Darby could get over because he's very believable. I think where Darby would struggle as champion is not so much with the TV program, but it would be all the outside stuff. You know, going to radio stations, going to TV stations. Adam Cole is just more media friendly in that aspect.
Yeah, I agree. But Darby's cutting way better promos lately, and he seems really comfortable on the mic, and his charisma is in this 4 pillars. I think we've read in the comments, no one's really bashing Darby in this whole thing. And that's why a lot of people are like, why don't we just have Darby versus MJF? And we might. Maybe in this match, MJF gets away again, but Darby's the guy that you're like, okay, that's like, this is, man, they screwed Darby so bad this time that he has to be the guy and really pulls himself apart from Sammy and Jungle Boy.
Or
I wouldn't hate that as a finish.
No, but imagine this type of booking. So it's Darby versus MJF. It's a regular match. MJF cheats to win. And then the next one is, it's like, you know, AEW's next paper. Or how about you go to Wembley, right? And it's MJF versus Darby in like a cage match. Where MJF can't get out to cheat. He can't run away. And you know, that's how you build those big matches to where they mean something. You know, Darby finally overcomes everything. He wins the title, and then you can push him to the moon afterwards.
To the moon! And Cameron Grimes is back, and we're gonna talk WWE now because we watched SmackDown and Raw. But first, Raw Manager of the Year. My number 1 candidate is going to be Don't Hinder Jinder.
Don't hinder. The man can talk on the mic. He still looks good. He can take some, you know, mean bumps. It's a perfect heel manager.
I love it. Yeah, but man, when his tag team came out, this hot WWE crowd went dead silent for the whole segment. I mean, they're trying, but it's rough out there. And I get it. I get what they're trying to do, but man, it is not working right this second. But you got to keep trying.
But like you said, you know, Vince has programmed a lot of those fans to cheer for shit. And that's what it is. I'm over the bloodline. I have to admit it. I'm so tired.
Oh, that's breaking news. You're like the number 1 proponent for the bloodline.
Cody should have won at WrestleMania.
I told you that.
Should have won. I saw it for a while, but then, you know, Brock in Puerto Rico, how it went down with the win, I'm like, son of a biscuit, we're going to have another match, and now we are. Roman, I get it, but damn, they need to start progressing the story. They need to progress the story. Hopefully the Usos turn on him and Solo, or Solo turns on somebody. That's the intrigue that you need to if you're going to continue the bloodline. You know, something. It's something.
Thank you. I do like. I mean, I think both of our scenarios would be better, but yeah, they'll end up. Who knows what they'll end up doing? But that's why we'll be watching. But all right, back to WWE.
I love the LWO.
I think they had to win, and I get that the Usos have lost so many times in a row, but that's part of the story. And if the Usos lose so many times in a row and then they beat LWO is just geeks, and you have Ray, you know what I mean? You had to have them win. You know what I mean?
Well, and this is what I'm afraid of, and this is WWE booking. So this is what pisses me off. You know, Dominic's going to come out and cost Ray.
A toy kind of mood at night, he is allowed to swear. Yeah. So fuck it. Swear. No, but God, sorry.
This is what pisses me off about WWE and where they always screw it up. Dominic is going to come out and cost Ray and Santos the flipping match when you don't need to. You know, Jesus, let's move on. Don the Con is over as it is. He doesn't need to keep messing with his dad.
I got
And the
my final.
Usos, hell of a tag team. They should be your top heel tag team, but quit making them look like goofs.
Yeah.
Constantly making them look like goofs.
It's yeah, I don't know. They want to, I think Triple H said he wants to continue the storyline because it's hot, but sooner or later it's gonna fizzle out. It is
The game
yeah, I'm
wants to
not
get
there
to
yet. I'm
1,000
not there
ways.
yet. Yeah, I'm not there yet hating it, but all right. Anyway, Night of Champions. We got just a lot of wrestling. Saturday Night of Champions, Sunday Double or Nothing, back to back. It's very rare that you get back to back pay-per-views, but this will be on at 10 a.m. my time. I'll be eating eggs and
Yes.
bagels with cream cheese while watching this, and orange juice and coffee. But yeah, it's early in the morning from
Match
Saudi. Yeah,
of 2023 right here.
for WWE, absolutely. It
No,
will
for
be.
all, I'm calling it for everybody. These guys are going to knock down a banger because it's worth something. Seth has been through the journey of carrying every freaking wrestler that he's went up against. AJ Styles is a big time money guy. He will show up, put on one hell of a show. This is Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart 2023 edition, baby.
All right. I love it. I've never loved Seth as much as I have now. I love his gimmick. Um, and to tie this in with wrestling figures, these are two of the best, if not the two best Ultimate Edition figures we've gotten all year. And a shout out to Wrestling Figure News. I know they went with another one, so that's why you got to watch because we had some awesome picks. But yeah, these are just two terrific figures. I'm glad to see AJ back so fast in that main event spotlight that he deserves as one of the best workers and one of the best champions they've had in their recent memory. So I'm glad to
And
have, and these two can't do wrong. They're gonna have at least a very good, probably great banger classic. Yeah, we'll
and
see.
I just want to throw this out there.
Yep.
Cody wins, beats Roman, gets the title, right? Roman allows him to take some time off. You know, he can do what he needs to do. But damn, you turn AJ heel, and then it's Cody versus AJ down the road. I mean, you could have the rest of 2023 for WWE main event tied up pretty tight right now.
Right.
But
And yep.
Seth really gained my respect when he carried Omos through that
And
match.
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul, you
So
hate the guy, but he has had a banger match with freaking everybody that he's been in the ring with.
so here's the
But
thing. He
yes,
has, and he's got the athleticism, but you still have to work in the ring and
right.
communicate and all that. That's all Seth.
But yeah, but so Logan has athleticism. Almost is almost. And freaking Seth made him look like $1,000,000.
Yeah, he got away with we finally got a good almost match. Hey, so here's a question for you. WWE already has 3 of the Bullet Club leaders. Name all the Bullet Club leaders in WWE, and then name, I can tell you it's Jay White and Kenny Omega in AEW are Bullet Club leaders. So what about WWE?
Well, it's Finn Balor was the
Yep.
original.
Uh-huh.
It's AJ Styles.
And then who's the third?
I'm wondering if he's thinking Machine Gun Carl Anderson.
Machine Gun was never the leader, but pretty close. But he was never the leader.
Well, who the hell in
So there's
WWE?
nobody. So there's nobody. There's 2 in each, right? Are we forgetting anybody?
No, because the original it was Bad Luck Fale, Prince Devitt.
Right. We've only had, those are the 4 leaders. It went from Finn to AJ to Kenny to Jay White. And then
Cody.
now Cody
Did they
wasn't a
count
leader of
Cody?
the Bullet Club. Cody wasn't
No.
a leader.
But really, was
Right.
Kenny the leader of the Bullet Club, or was Kenny the
Kenny,
leader of the Elite?
no, Kenny was a leader of the Bullet Club before it was Elite. Yeah, Elite is later because the Bucks were just part of the Bullet Club until they all formed out, until that whole Ring of Honor kind of, when it was just New Japan, it was Kenny was the leader and the Bucks were part of the. So there's only four leaders until
Yeah, that's what I'm
Evil. After Jay White was like Evil, and then like it's Evil right now, but then it's mixed because they don't know if it's Evil or David Finlay, or it's like a mess kind of. They don't really have a leader, so to speak. But yeah, it was only right because Jay White at New Year's Dash turned on Omega and became the leader. And that's when
yes,
Omega
because that's
left to
when
go to AEW.
AEW.
Yeah, so here we go. Cody was never a leader. He had those. So here's where I'll defend the figure 6-pack. He had those promos that he was coming to the Bullet Club, and it was like a very mafia or like crime drama type
Yes.
promos about American Nightmare, and they were super awesome. And it was cool, but he was just kind of like a part. He was never the leader because he was in there with Kenny. So he didn't do any. He had matches with Kenny later, but they were never, nobody was a leader. Yeah. The battle of Cody and Omega, Omega was still the leader of the Bullet Club. Yeah, Cody wasn't the leader ever. I mean, yeah. I don't know if someone can challenge me on that, but
But I'm
pretty
going to
sure.
still say that, Prince Devitt was the best leader of the Bullet Club. That
Yeah.
original group was the best. Oh, go back one.
Well, I was gonna cut to this match because of this
Okay.
comment. Either Brock wins and we get a match 3 where Cody goes over, or Cody wins more convincingly here than Backlash, and we're done. Hopefully I like the latter, but
Yeah, I
probably
do
the
too.
former. But probably the former.
But I get why they did this. This is just because they need to have big stars in Saudi Arabia for the money. But it sucks that that's what they look for their booking.
You got this one? I'm just unboxing random figures that have nothing to do with
Yes,
what we're talking about, but
I love that
I
Cena. That shirt is just awesome. That's
have
why
to
I
get
hope
that.
that some third party vendor makes his WrestleMania shirt that we saw this year
Yeah.
at some point.
And then look at the hat. It's like the one up, but it
Yep.
says 16 up, but it's like a mushroom. And yeah, this is a top picks. Part of me, I got it on sale, but also part of me was like, if I don't get this, they'll never do it again because they got away with murder with that Mario, like Nintendo kind of thing. I'm like, it's different, but I don't know. Otherwise, I don't think we'd ever see something like that again. So definitely had to grab that one.
Plus, we're not getting,
Hey.
John Cena and Rey Mysterio every single wave like they used to do. Thank God.
Hey, one of your faves, one of my faves. Is he on the card? And is there an
Uh,
Intercontinental title match, or are they going to announce it probably this
I think
on
he
SmackDown?
is going to be on the card because I thought he was going up against Mustafa.
He is.
Mustafa.
Mustafa, you're not wrong. You know what? I actually I actually downloaded that slide and then never put it in. So that's what it was. He is going against Mustafa Ali. So this is part of our Night of Champions preview. What do you think of Mustafa Ali getting that win out of nowhere and kind of being the contender? How
Look,
great is
he's
this
a
figure?
very talented wrestler, but my hope is that Gunther, or Walter, as I still like to call him,
Me too.
chops him so hard that his arm actually goes through Mustafa's chest and pops out the back.
Do you think Mustafa Ali's there because of the location? It's
Probably
not
has a little bit.
Chicago, but because he's American. He's just like us. He's from Chicago, but Ali, Mustafa Ali. It's in the name, man.
I think it also gives. Yes, I think it helps, but I think it also gives Gunther a opponent that he can really just beat the living tar out of and
Like
look
this.
legitimate. Those, dude, I know those chop hands.
Look at
Those,
this thing.
His matches with Ilya are still the best.
Oh yeah, look at that chop. Oh, that face. What a great sculpt. My God. And what I talked about this on Wrestling News is just you got the thin, that athletic build. So it's a different torso than you had with the other
The
one. I don't
ringside
want.
exclusive.
Afraid. Yeah, I have the other ringside exclusive. I'm afraid of pulling it out and causing the whole ring to crash. But yeah, it's a great.
He's such a great performer. He looks legitimate. His shit always looks good. I do have to say the match with Drew and Sheamus and him was really good. Because they're all hard hitters.
Mm-hmm.
I pray Asuka wins this match. I'm so over Bianca.
I don't know if it'll happen, but
I think Asuka right now is probably this character that she's brought out for the last since WrestleMania or just before. I think it's one of her best. I think Bianca's just it's tired. This good girl gimmick is just tired.
well, she got booed, and like I think I mentioned on the last show at Backlash, she adjusted her wrestling style to wrestle heel, which I thought was cool. Is it in this one?
Yeah, that's the one I want to see the third parties make.
Oh, this is the one that you want. Okay, is this what
Yep.
Cali Dragon's talking about?
Oh, I don't know.
Holding a flag. He's not really holding a flag, but I don't know if that holding a flag shirt. I don't know. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I want Asuka, of course. And then this match you wanted to talk about.
So I'm wondering if we actually get this match.
That's a good call. Yeah, we may never even get it.
Because I don't think Sammy can go to Saudi Arabia.
No, they said they cleaned that up. Him and Kevin can go because of some kind of agreement between Syria and Saudi or something. I didn't look too deep into it.
I thought with Sammy, he renounced being a Muslim, and you can get put to death for that in Saudi Arabia.
Oh.
So if hey, here's the thing: if this match goes down and we see royal guards from the Saudis go in the ring and Sammy disappears, we know what happened then, I guess.
That's the one I just showed. That's the one I just showed. Okay. All right, cool. So
what do you think about this?
Well, if Solo loses, then this causes Reigns to have no faith in any of the bloodline. This could be an exploding point for him because he can't. Usos keep losing, and then if Solo takes the pin, like Reigns gets knocked out of the ring or something, wrestling, and then Solo just gets the boot, and Roman puts Solo in a place where he's like, "We got this. There's no way," and they still pull it off and win, and he just kind of loses his shit. Maybe maybe Solo stands up to him because they're making Solo like they're building him up to be that guy, that big tough guy that the Usos always back down to Reigns, and maybe Solo actually gets in his face and is like, I'm not being pushed around even by you. I'm the young guy in the family, but I kind of like that.
What if the Usos and Solo, who are real life brothers, all turn on Roman? Then the bloodline story gets interesting at that point.
I don't think they do it here in Saudi. I think you do that at SummerSlam or something. You do it big.
But that builds to SummerSlam. Then you've got
that's true.
Something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I pray to God. I mean, so here's another problem I have with WWE. You create another title because Roman doesn't work. He's part-time.
Yeah.
So you talk shit about him. Working part-time. You're going to create this title because you have Seth, who will put in the days.
Right, of course. Or Cody. But yeah.
Or Cody. And so Roman has 2 belts, and now him and Solo can win the tag team belts. So does that mean we get new tag team titles since Roman doesn't work every week?
Yeah, they're not going to win this match. I don't think there's no way you pull it off, Kenny and Kevin and Sammy this fast. So, yeah. This could be interesting. Yeah, now that it is very interesting. I like where if you're going to keep it going, this is a good place to go,
But you have to start adding more cracks to this foundation, and more people have to start turning on Roman.
Mm-hmm. What else we have? Very cool. We got that one. I think we're at the end. But you know what? Before we go, since we love our G.I. Joe, how G.I. Joe is this dude?
Ugh.
How Yo Joe is this Hogan? This was what WrestleMania. This is 91, right? When he tagged with Ultimate Warrior in the Desert Storm. You got this one?
I don't buy Hogan figures.
Oh, but I mean, you gotta admit, it's pretty cool as a Joe fan.
No.
You hate it?
I'll tell you what. Hulk Hogan in WCW ruined any desire for me to own a Hogan figure.
Damn, that bad, huh?
Dude, the whole Sting build-up, 18 months, and he wouldn't put Sting over when it was the right thing to do? Brother, I don't know, brother. No. Sting, yeah. I'm glad. You know what? I'm happy he didn't, because that gave us Stone Cold Steve Austin. It gave us Mick Foley winning the title. It gave us The Rock. It gave us all that great stuff from WWE, and eventually you got Booker T that finally got his chance in a push in WCW, and a lot of other guys. But by God, that man buried so many freaking people.
He did. Yeah. Well, that's why I watched the Monday Night Wars and watched the WCW, just refusing to put anybody that was mid card. So it's a good thing I decided to save this for a rainy day. Shout out to Ringside Collectibles. They were nice enough to send me. I did not expect this. I don't collect retros, but as a kid, it was my essential line when Hasbro had the retros. Too sweet, and I mean, it doesn't get any better than this, right? So I will do an unboxing separately just on this, because they caused me to get this, and then it was destroyed in eBay. It said mint. Look at that. That's not mint. And then I looked, and it said owner does not accept return. So I am fighting with eBay, because I did not pay for mint on card and then get it bent. The guy botched the shipping, and I was like, well, if I have this free thanks to Ringside, I gotta have Sting. So I went on eBay, paid a premium for this, and that's what it looked like.
So let me ask you, was it
thrilled.
packed in one of those Walmart mailers?
No,
where was chewed up and drop kicked to your front door?
No, it was just the box was like tall and too thin this way, too vertical, instead of just like a nice, instead of a nice horizontal box with bubble. They had bubble wrap, but they put it like squeezed in, like this was like bent up into the box, and they really jammed it in. So I took pictures, and hopefully it works out. But I think this deserves its own spotlight, just because I have so many stories to kind of talk about it. And I'll do like a separate unboxing, just this, and talk about, hopefully I'll get a replacement. But I really love to just focus on this retro line, because I've never jumped into it. So that'll be something separate I'll do. But
And
we're at the end. Ryan, you got any closing thoughts before we
yes. So
tonight?
hold on, I gotta find it. Jason, yes, I am a heel, but I will tell you this: I love professional wrestling.
Yeah.
It has been part of my life forever, and I know that We've seen amazing wrestling matches all throughout our time. And yes, I hold grudges when it comes to putting over new talent. I think is so important to help build the product and keep it going and moving forward. And it wasn't Hogan's fault for having creative control. It was Eric Bischoff's for signing him to a contract that gave him creative control. So,
well, it said it right in the theme. NWO, we are in control. That was right in the voiceover. They weren't hiding that fact, but
and
some of the stuff.
NWO changed wrestling. I mean, if it wasn't for the way that Scott Hall and Kevin Nash came into WCW and they took, the Goon or, the Gobbledygooker or, Duke the Dumpster Dozier. And,
Duke the Dumpster.
they took those superhero types and damn, they made it real. They made it real. And to get Hogan to turn heel, nobody thought that would happen. But without Hall and Nash leaving, we don't get the Attitude Era. We don't get that run of wrestling when it was just Monday nights. You stayed home and you watched professional wrestling because you didn't know what the hell you were going to see.
That's right. And we have no idea what the hell we're going to see next week at Double or Nothing or Night of Champions. It was awesome to preview both shows with you, Ryan. Hang out. I know you just did 2 hours of TK. Don't worry, I'm not done yet.
No, I just want to say one thing.
I'm not done letting you talk either. But go ahead.
No, I just want to say, I'm going to say this one thing because you say I'm always bagging on AEW. Oh, I can't. AEW's pay-per-view overall will be better than Night of Champions.
Yeah, it's not saying a whole lot, but no, well, it is because you know what? I loved Backlash. We reviewed Backlash on the last week's show, and I thought it was great. And shout out to Kyle Peterson for joining me on that. Terrific guest. But yeah, I am gonna follow up with wrestling figure news. I'll let you guys know when the podcast hits, but he will be here at a Toy Kind of Mood at night for our Double or Nothing Fan Fest recap. So that's the next Toy Kind of Mood at night. And then wrestling will take a break and we'll start doing more of everything else, especially because we got G.I. Joe, Joe June. It's going to be a very Joe June, Joe July Comic-Con. A lot of different things to talk about. But man, 4 weeks of wrestling in a row was a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie, it was great to do, to expand into this other horizon that we haven't done yet. But lots to talk about. Just so many. Both companies are hot right now, and great pay-per-views coming up, and great figures. Man, I can't wait to unbox and talk about more elites and ultimates and supremes. It's just been a blessing to be invested in this world. I really love it.
Damn straight. Wrestling has always been an important part for me. My wife watches wrestling with us. So, Monday nights we actually sit down as a family, and Friday nights we sit down as a family and we watch WWE stuff. So
that's fantastic.
It is. But Island Misfit Toy Collectors, stop on by. I'm not as heelish on that channel as I am when I talk wrestling. Just did some figure reviews, my favorite Cobras, my favorite Joes, and then I make some bold predictions for the next HasLab, thanks to our boy, Chaz the Guru, pointing out some stuff on Instagram, made me do a little bit of research, and I make a call on what I think that next HasLab is going to be. I'm probably wrong, and if I am, but if I'm right, it's going to be a hell of a cool HasLab for classified if it comes true.
If you're wrong, it's a nice surprise, and if you're right, you get what you wanted, right? So you can't lose. And yeah, your content has been great. I love the kind of the short recaps of all the news, everything we're getting on. It's really been a pleasure to have you on a Toy Kind of Mood too, man. You got an awesome channel. Go check out the Island of Misfit Toy Collectors. And then also we couldn't do the show without Ringside Collectibles, wrestlingfigures.com. Thank you, JP and Ringside. I will open up that NWO set, but thanks for we got to review the Supremes, Luchas, and the Gunther and Hogan, a couple other things. So thanks so much for allowing us to show your wares there. But man, it's always a pleasure scanning through the product there, right? You're a big fan of Ringside, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, we have like Big Bad Toy Store, we have Entertainment Earth. Damn, if we could have, one of those type of sites that are like Ringside, it would be amazing. Ringside gets exclusives, like that would be Toys R Us exclusives for Joe's. And JP and his team have done that because they've earned that trust from, Mattel, from Jazzwares, where they know they can move this product and people go there and buy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they're getting the WCW Nitro Ring exclusive with Eric Bischoff Ultimate. I mean, that's amazing. That's, just crazy. Cameron Grimes, great figure. Thank you for sharing it with me and my son Travis.
Of course.
And then the Walter, the NWO John Cena. I mean, just a number of different exclusive figures that Ringside's always been able to get.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to check that Broken Skull podcast with Nash, KJ, and then also thanks so much, Puro Wrestling. I love having new viewers and
Yep.
subscribers. Hope you subscribe to the channel, like it says at the bottom. Really appreciate that. Like everybody, like the video if you joined us tonight. Really appreciate that. We'll have more guests. There will be more wrestling shows. I'm just saying, I've done so many in a row. We got to talk Double or Nothing, but after that, we got Joe June and it'd be a lot of fun, man. Wrestling ain't going anywhere, that's for sure. It's been too sweet, and can't thank you enough. But for this shotgun Saturday night, I am the loose cannon, Travis Moody, and this has been a hell of a collision between my man from the Misfit Toys, Dreadnok Ryan, and your only boy right here, Trav Moody. And for a toy kind of mood at night, we will see you in the toy aisle at ringsidecollectibles.com, baby.